Go ahead. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Beautiful night. The always uncontroversial Jason Keighin. Many of you have, maybe you've been on the Chino in the Nose, and maybe seen some of the things that you've said. It's nothing to ruffle any feathers ever, of course not. But anyway, I'll get out of here. Jason Keighin, get up here and do your thing. A round of applause.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, vegans, children, former political candidates for state, local, federal office. I want to thank you guys for coming out to my fourth show ever, here at OBs, Cerveceria. I always go low when I say it. I say, here at OBs, Cerveceria, where if they don't have it, you don't want it. I've been doing these shows since July 19th of last year. I do not in any way consider myself a comedian. I admin a really big comedian group on Facebook and Not the Real World. I'm friends on Facebook with world famous comedians. I've been friends on Facebook with Joey Diaz, who's Joe Rogan's best friend since fucking 2019. And it's him, and people like Ryan Holtzman, and Yoshi Obayashi, and a few others who are like, bro, why do you only talk shit on Facebook? You should do this. Or you should do the road. Well, I can't do the road because I don't own body armor. So I stay here where I know who the shooters in the crowd are going to be, potentially. But anyways, I usually only tell stories, true stories from my life. I don't really do jokes. I'm going to try some jokes tonight. They're like my stories, 100% factual occurrences. For a little backstory on our new guests, I was kicked out of public school in kindergarten at the age of 5 because I kicked a veteran of 2 foreign wars who looked like the Thing from the Fantastic Four. They couldn't handle a 5-year-old. And so I went to a group home for inner city orphans from Chicago, Indianapolis, East St. Louis, Kansas City. And you had all those young brothers who were the sons of the Black Panther generation. And then you had me, the prettiest, little blondest, blue-haired, buck-toothiest, goofiest, dumbest white dude ever. And they put me in a group home full of those dudes. And this is basically the result. Some of you think I'm angry all the time. That there is this torrent of rage underneath this calm visage that you see before you. And the reason for that is because I was told, Jason, you go to the retard school, so you just sit with the retards. You don't get to go to the regular Olympics, you gotta go to the retard Olympics. You gotta go, just shut the fuck up and stay in your fucking lane and let the normal kids do all the thinking and the talking and the governing and shit. And in response, I say to you, the last 4 fucking years, the normal people were in charge, and this is what we have. In the last 4 years, we've had normal people who run the FBI. They couldn't tell you who Hunter's Blow belonged to in the White House. They found cocaine in the White House. On the bag it says, Hunter's Blow, if found, returned to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Sincerely, Hunter Biden. They couldn't figure out whose cocaine it was. This is the same FBI. And by the way, when the World Trade Centers fell, they created 1.8 million tons of debris. And the FBI found the terrorist passports. But the same FBI couldn't tell you who a bag of cocaine in the fucking White House belonged to. I have serious issues with normal people running shit. I don't get it. Same FBI, the New Orleans New Year's Eve guy. The special agent in charge of the New Orleans FBI came up and said, this was a tragic event, but it was not a terrorist attack. 2 hours later. Yes, we found an ISIS flag, but this guy was a realtor, not a terrorist. These are the normal people that are in charge that we have to listen to. And I know I can string a couple sentences together, so I'm probably smarter than the normal retard kids I rode the retard bus with. When I went to the retard school, when I was told I was retarded. But I think some people can do some better jobs than the normal people we have. I'm sorry I used the R word. I grew up being told I was the R word. I grew up in an R word school. I rode an R word bus. And on the side of the buses outside the R school, it said, so-and-so school for the R children. And they brought us R kids to these charitable events and put the R kids in front of the donors. And the donors were like, look at these little R kids, here's $10,000. And all of a sudden I become a grown-up.
Show's over.
Everybody's seeing this, right? Everybody seeing this? But now that I'm a grown-up, I can't use the R word. It says on my transcripts, retarded, behaviorally something or another. Retarded. Retarded. So, I use the word. I'm sorry if that bothers you guys. Same normal people. I'm sure very responsible people. They run a place called the Houston Police Department in Houston, Texas. Has anyone ever heard of Houston, Texas? Everybody? Okay. Houston, Texas has a police department. Houston, Texas, given its location and the size of its population, doesn't have an evidence locker, it has an evidence warehouse. And in that warehouse, the Houston PD, Mr. V, has 400,000 pounds of evidential marijuana, along with tons of methamphetamines, heroin, cocaine, you know cocaine? And they have another problem, they have rats eating it. They have had, they've had to dedicate salaried police officers to protect the 500,000 tons of marijuana and varying other drugs from the drug rats. And this is from normal people's thinking. The same kind of normal people that can think that we want to sink your town, and that's okay, and we can be friends with you afterwards. These are normal people. At least at the R school I went to, if big fucking Jerry was going, you knew somebody was getting the fucking head stoked in. Because that motherfucker was disturbed. Because he was an R. At the R schools. I don't leave the house. I don't like interacting with human beings. My wife told me, my wife, she told me, I believe it was yesterday, I have a hard time believing that a man who cried like a little girl over a stillborn puppy can so easily just switch to homicide when it comes to people. Like, she said that. She knows my whole life story, and she still says things like that. She still has hope, which is why she's still around. I don't know how much hope I can give her. Because all these normal people, they come out, they keep doing this normal people shit. You know? Like roundabouts. Normal people, the people in charge, came up with roundabouts. Think about that shit. Do you know what a roundabout is, young lady? Do you know what a roundabout is? and stop making fun of my eye. The young lady next to the handsome man, young lady in the gray sweatshirt, center stage. Do you know what a roundabout is? Do you believe it is in any way superior to a four-way stop? Marry that one. Fucking marry that one. Lock that one the fuck up. 3 out of the 4 people sitting at that table right there have handcuffs on them. Put them on her. Get her out of here. Take her over to the East Coast because the courthouse will open up an hour earlier on fucking Monday and marry that fucking one. Right? Fucking there. Do that.
Roundabout is a challenge. I like to put your head down and get out of the way.
A roundabout came about in America because they realized that the Evel Knievel crowd was starting to get Alzheimer's, and they knew those motherfuckers were going to send it 3 out of 10 every fucking time. For real. Roundabouts were invented by normal people. Normal people.
No.
We have 1 no, 23 yeses. The yeses have it. I try not to let shit fuck up my day. That's why I try not to think for the first 10 minutes I'm awake. Because if I think, you know, when your brain is the Plinko fucking disc at the top of the Plinko board in the morning, and you're like, okay, where's my focus gonna be? Let's try for happiness. Let's try for positivity. Let's try for this. Let's try for that. My child's plates got suspended for no fucking reason! And then just straight down the fucking rabbit hole you go, fuck the government, we need to burn this motherfucker down. Plinko was intentional! Fuck you! Like, you just go straight fucking there, like, shit could fuck your day up. Did you bring your shot collar with you? Fucks my day up quicker than anything. Now, older gentlemen, not one, because he's healthy. But older gentlemen, have you ever shitting? Okay, we're not young. We're not out chasing cheerleaders. We're not out drinking all the time. We're not late. We're not. We have very simple pleasures in life. You know, one of those pleasures is in the morning, you get to wake up unbothered and hopefully go take a successful shit. Every morning, either pre-coffee or 5 seconds after you pour your first cup for some fucking reason. You want to get on that, it's like that morning shit, you're exercising the demons of the previous day. You're just like that motherfucker that cut me off on the way to work this. When my wife said she wished I was more like my cousin Ted. Shit like that. You want a good flow. You want a good flow. Like the ladies, when they're during their maintenance cycle, they want a steady flow. They don't want it to start out spotting. Okay, this one's gonna be okay, and then in the middle of the night, the Yangtze Dam is broken, your bed is ruined, get to the bathroom. You know, the women, you know, we all want the same thing. We all want the same thing, right? Is anything more interrupting than when, okay, you feel the pressure, you're on the way, you get in there, you fart on the way down, and now your nose is where your asshole was when you farted, right? And you're like, fuck it, whatever, my wife can cook. And you're just, that's how you suck that, because you know it smelled good, because you married good. You didn't fuck up like your mom. Anyways, fucking, and you're sitting there, and you can feel that first turn, the center of the offensive line right there. Big as shit, you're trying to get him out. And then somehow, you push out shit around that fucking first turn. You know you did it. You know you did it because you didn't hear boop. You didn't hear shit, you just hear coming out like a Play-Doh factory around that fucking center offensive line guy, right? And for the rest of your day, I don't care if you're a master electrician, I don't care if you're a master plumber, I don't care if you're the fucking major at the institution or the sheriff of a sheriff's department. If you didn't get that first fucking turd out of the way, I don't give a fuck what you do for the rest of the day. Anytime something fucks up, that fucking turd that didn't come out is the first thing on your mind. That will fuck your day up. That will fuck your day up. How you guys doing? You guys doing all right? I want to thank the new people for coming out. I want to thank my hardcores for coming out. See, the hardcores, they knew what they were getting into before they showed up. You good folks. Good folks. You had no fucking idea. I know this guy knows me somehow. Which is why I'm glad I haven't committed any felonies in over 23 years. Because I don't know where he comes from, and all my shit, the statute of limitations. Oh, well, I mean, look, if you notice, there ain't a war fight. If there ain't somebody starting none, or saying some of the stupidest shit in the fucking world, you don't see me comment. Someone posts something about positive thinking, I'll heart that shit. Scroll down. Somebody posts, what's up with the water? Why we got a boil order? I'm going to tell you folks, you may not know this, but I've got to boil my water one time and I drink a gallon of coffee a fucking day. Okay? 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 I've been here since 2018, man, and I don't boil shit, bro. I do puro. I don't do crack cocaine. I do puro. I don't cook my shit, man. I drink it straight. ¿Usted sabe? ¿No sabes qué es mejor aquí? No sabes qué es mejor aquí? Place that owns the joint's last name is Serta and his first name is Juan, but no sabes qué es mejor aquí? Ay, cabrón. Ay, cabrón. It's a good crowd.
The first time I met you, I stopped on the side of the road to visit with a friend of mine, and you were with him, and you told me I needed tires. Just like that. That was the first thing I was on.
Well, what I try to do when I... Right?
Down here in snow.
Sport boat. Well, what I try to do when I first meet people is I try to offset my physical appearance. I probably had my sunglasses off, so you probably looked at my eye. And to prove that even though I was an R, I wasn't completely blind. So I wanted to observe something for you to help you out. It's like when I'm standing up and I walk into a place, I immediately act like a complete and total fucking clown. Because I know I look like someone that would eat your fucking children. So I try to act like the biggest fucking goofball, just needs gas, you know, as fucking possible. Because I'm already 6'3", I'm already 26 inches broad, I weigh 300 fucking pounds. Motherfuckers, they're just like, oh my God! It's like, hey you guys! You know, like fucking I look like sloth. What the fuck doing this? So I try to offset people's worries about my outward appearance. Right? It's like the 2025 librarian versions of chicks. Like when I was a kid, the librarians that wore the glasses and stuff, they were just little mousy creatures. Nowadays, the librarian-looking chicks are the ones on Pornhub. Like, you know, like, shit's weird these days. I try to offset looks. You understand? I'm glad you guys came out. I like seeing new faces. It makes me scared to fucking death. I'm not gonna lie. I've stood in front of judges who had 100 years of my life in their hand, and I was less scared than I am at this very moment. Don't take that the wrong way, Tom. It's okay. This side of the aisle is nothing but law enforcement anyways. You're good. I've been in prison. I've been to some minimums. I've been to some mediums. I've been to some maximums. And it's been an experience. And we've got some maximum security correctional officers in here right now. I don't think they've ever worked minimum security. You think minimum security, you're like, oh, it's just a bunch of goofballs. Woo, woo, woo. You're right. But those goofballs aren't in cells. They're in dorms. 32 a dorm. Most of them don't use deodorant. So I prefer maximum security institutions. Because the lines are clear. The lines say if you step over this line, you're gonna be in serious shit. The lines say if you touch one of our staff, that is your ass. Right or wrong, in a maximum institution, you know the fucking rules of the environment. Maximum in minimum institutions, you've got free movement, you can watch on the TV you want, but you don't have any really good stories outside of the whole fights that look like this. You know, this is how teams fight, and then they fight like this, because they're in dorms. You got these wide open spaces. You get those fights, you get about one a day per win. You know, some get reported, some don't. But in maximum security institutions, you get people like Rosie. Now you might be wondering what Rosie looks like. Rosie doesn't look like me. Rosie is a 6'4", 280-pound black man with maybe 0.5% body fat. Rosie ran the John Deere tractor. Rosie ran the John Deere tractor within the institution to pull the dumpsters to take the garbage on the outside wire. Rosie, as you may imagine, is not born Rosie. That was his stage name. Rosie liked men. If you can't tell by the name, Rosie could bench press 550 pounds like he was eating potato chips and watching TV. They like dudes. What's he like to call it? Boy butt. Likes a boy butt, Jason. But he'd say it like this. Hi, Cyclops, how you doing? Hey! Like, that's how that motherfucker would act. Do you? I'm an asshole. You're homosexual. As long as your homosexual doesn't come near my asshole, we're good. We are just fine. Now, as you can imagine, y'all ever see the movie Shawshank Redemption? You know Morgan Freeman's character, Red? I'm the guy that can get you things. A pack of cigarettes, stick a gun with that, you think. That was me. I was a guy. I had plenty of money on my books because I was a man whore before my first incarceration. That helped. So the ladies did help me out. But other than that, I didn't have enough coming in, so I would buy, sell, trade, all that good stuff. And I remember I was in 2 house on A wing, about 12:30, about half hour before they popped the doors for afternoon day room for the assigned wing. Rosie come in. You know Rosie come in because somehow Rosie was the only inmate in the entire Department of Correction that could get like Estee Lauder perfume in the joint. So when Rosie opened up the wing, you know how thermal pressure works. You open up something at the other end and it's just all going to rush out the other end. So, man, Rosie on the block. God damn it, Rosie. You know, just for like a second, your dick gets a little hard. Like, damn, fuck! Dick got hard over Carl Weathers. Shit. So Rosie comes out and there's these 2 dudes sitting down playing poker at the table. CO ain't let Rosie fucking pop the door so he can go get his stuff so we can shower. So Rosie sit down, start playing cards for like 10 minutes. Rosie cracks these motherfuckers for $100 a piece at the poker table in 10 minutes. Their doors are open. He's like, go get my merch. You guys know, go get my merch, guys. Come on. Don't make the dude come out at me. He wouldn't say the N-word. He wouldn't say the N-word. He would say, dude, don't make the dude come out at me. For real. And I'm watching this go down from my locked cell. Now, I heard stories about Rosie. Rosie had a pair of socks that he had dyed pink with red Kool-Aid. Rosie would put on these pink socks and put the skippity pap on that ass and say, how's it feel to get whooped by a queer in pink gloves, motherfucker? As he's getting cuffed up off the set. Swear to God. So, these dudes don't want to pop their shit. I'm a porter. I click my door. Seal and Bubble knows it's my door. Seal and Bubble knows it's me. Click, my door pops open. As soon as my door pops open, Rosie comes to the door. I'm looking out the window. I wait for my door to pop, drinking a cup of coffee, staring at the window. I'm short time. I have less than a year to go. So I'm thinking about Champagne Urbana and the U of I, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm thinking about, baby. My man knows what I'm talking about. Anyways, my door clicks. The wind kicks my door open. About half a second later, I hear, "Hey, Cyclops!" Yeah, Rosie, what's up? Oh, no, man, it ain't Rosie today, bro. I don't remember Rosie's real name, but we'll say Fred. It's Fred today. Alright. What's the problem? I need 2 cans of Denny Morph, I need a do-rag, and I need a pair of fucking workout gloves right now. No fucking problem. See, at the time they had those aluminum cans of Dinty Moore, you know the ones I'm talking about, beef stew, the aluminum ones with the little tuna can pull up top. I gave him 6 of those because they came in a roll, right? You put that motherfucker in a sock. It's not a sock. All right, cool. You put that motherfucker in a sock, tied it off, tucking his butters underneath the do-rag, right? Put on them jersey gloves, the workout gloves. And this man beat these 2 grown men who weren't much smaller than him to fucking near death. And the whole time, how you like getting whooped by a sissy, motherfucker? Wham! So you don't get stories like that, motherfucker, minimum institution. So if you ever go to prison, I suggest you just say, hey, send me to a max. He told me about this shit. Shit sounds fire. I don't want to deal with motherfuckers. I just want 1 celly. I don't want 30 of them shits. Also, if you can't handle dick, the side of dick, bigger, smaller, blacker, whiter, browner, tanner than yours, don't go to fucking prison, because you're going to see dicks in prison that will make you want to kill yourself. You will want to kill yourself. You will see things, and it won't be the first one that gets you that will fuck your mind up. It ain't going to be the 6'4" black dude that's 220 pounds with one of these. It ain't going to be that. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be some dude you think is white, who's 5'6", got some Catholic tats on, and you see him in the shower and he got one of them. And you find out in that moment he's Puerto Rican. That's what's going to fuck you up. Because after that, you're never going to be able to look at another short dude in your life and be like, I got that dude beat. No. If you have a fragile ego about yourself, about anything, do not break the law. Become a cop, correctional officer, run for sheriff, run for governor, run from prison. Because fucking let me tell you something. I don't yet need to use a mirror to see my own dick. That's why I don't think I'm too fat yet. So I don't think it's a problem. So I'm doing okay. All right? I'm not Carl Weathers, not Lexington Steele, but I'm doing okay. And I was 195 pounds back when I was almost Carl Weathers and Lexington Steele. And even then, you see these motherfuckers, you're just like, my mom lied to me when I was a kid. It ain't gonna be okay. It ain't gonna be okay. I'm never gonna get that out of my head. I would never go to prison. Because along with depressingly large cocks, you get to see other things. Like fecal charcoal art. Fecal charcoal art. I believe the Sarge has heard this story before. So, I was in Mount Sterling Correctional Center, which is officially called Western Correctional Center, but it's in Mount Sterling, so everybody calls it Mount Sterling. And I was a sec. This was before Janice. I was a sec. Can't rightly tell you why I was a sec, which is surprising. But, you know, I'm 6th generation Alzheimer's, so it's just time to accept a few things. But anyway, so I'm in sec, which is receiving B Wing in Mount Sterling, which is the back of the area. You literally look out your window and you see all these people walking out, doing visits and shit. You get to see the vehicles the CEOs drive, which is really fucked up. When the CEO's complaining about their truck, you'd be like, oh yeah, that 2012 Chevy HD 2500 with the fucking mismatched rims. And they just look at you like, how do you know? Well, I've been saying, that's how I know. That's how I know. So anyways, one day, when you're said, when Springfield and outside people come to do tours of institutions, they tour specific spots. They'll go to each and every housing unit. They won't walk through all of them. But they will walk all the way through receiving. They will walk all the way through SEG. And they'll go through the admin and whatnot. The director of the Department of Corrections, the Western District or Central District Director of the Department of Corrections, and all three wardens were walking down the gallery on what they called the Green Mile, because the floor was green. And this warden stopped, and he screamed. Ah! He stopped and screamed. I don't know if a lot of you know what a warden is, but a warden is basically the king of the fucking castle. Within the prison walls, within the prison fence, there is nothing this human being needs to fear, because he's the fucking warden. But whatever this gentleman saw when he looked in the... Okay, I don't want man inches. Women, how many inches is this?
1.5.
4, 5, 4. Anyways, this 4-inch by 13-inch rectangular window, whatever he saw in that brief second made him scream like a teenager whose dad just caught him, you know, looking at Sports Illustrated. You understand? And the director of DOC, which is like fucking third down from the fucking governor, the director of the district, and the assistant director are all like this, like in a Scooby-Doo scene, you know, where they bloop, 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 at the edge of the door, right? But they're doing this at the bottom of the window. And Major comes up, and Major looks through the window and he goes, fuck! And he gets on the rover. And you hear click, and they open up the door, and they all start retching. And they all run, except for the major. Except for the major, who was built, for lack of a better term, like a early 80s steroid porn star. His waist was like this big around, you know, he's one of these. But his whole upper body was just like, this dude's like, you know, I need inmates to wipe my ass. You know, like he was one of them dudes. And like he wasn't scared of shit, so they just popped the door. And he's just standing there while over $3 or $4 million worth of salaries are. And I can look right in this dude's cell. This dude is butt fucking naked. Butt naked. And he's got a styrofoam tray in his hand. Okay? Like a pallet. Like Bob fucking Ross. And on the painted cinder, 13-inch cinder block walls was a mural. Was a mural of the number 2 warden's face, done in dried fecal ash type shit. Completely. And this dude's holding this motherfucker like this. That's what you get in the maximum security prison. You get fun stories that you can tell 20, what year is this, 25? 19 years later. 19 years later. Yeah? Yeah? What? Bring what up? What, you talking shit there? You're looking like an extra from the Need for Speed Underground video?
It still makes me want to maybe eat a hot wing or something.
Not, well,
Find out
you work in agriculture, sir?
Huh?
Do you work in agriculture? Do you work in agriculture?
I have.
Have you ever worked with livestock?
Huh?
Have you ever worked with livestock?
Yeah.
People that have,
Farm, chicken.
people that have worked at livestock?
That's why you still eat a chicken wing after you're killed.
Never doubt the ability and stomach of a person who had to cut chickens' heads off at the age of 4 on the family fucking farm. Never. Ever. Do not fuck with those kinds of people. Do not break into their houses. Do not overcharge them for fucking auto repair. Do not ever. I've told my son, I want him to marry, I want him to procreate with a Samoan woman, okay? Well, you can't procreate with Samoan men, so. Anyways, if you're a dude. I told him one of the stop sign types of women you don't want to be with is any girl that grew up on a livestock farm. Because they grew up from a very young age learning how to get over hurting and killing animals. Like, I'm not knocking it. The livestock industry is fucking necessary. But there's a lot of shit that would break normal people. I'm a fucking ex-con. I lived through 3 fucking prison riots. I stomped on a dude's head so much on his neck. I did my best to kill this dude for stabbing me. I didn't kill him. But I can't hurt animals. They didn't do nothing. They can't vote. So they didn't fuck my world up. You understand? Unless one's going after my fucking pet or something, I'm cool. Or unless we're post-civilization and I've literally got to chase down a fucking deer butt naked with a Bowie knife in my hand to feed my vehicle. Aerodynamics. That's why butt naked. Aerodynamics. It'll be cold out, so that won't be in the way too much.
If you work on a hot farm, you can eat a ham sandwich with coffee on the back of your hand.
I worked at Roe Dairy Farm. I worked at the dairy farm in Roe for a guy whose wife had 3 kids. And I was there for 2 months during the whole I did not have sexual relations with that woman period of time. I had an AM radio in my Ford Escort GL station wagon, and the only thing that was on the fucking radio all the way to and from work was Newt Gingrich. This guy is terrible for the country. He's shoving cigars where they shouldn't fucking go. I bet they're cute, you know, like that was just the whole fucking thing. So that's the only reason why I equate those two. So as I stated before, I used to have a nickname called Cyclops. And I got that nickname because I was in Peoria work release. Briefly, I didn't stay there forever. I fucked that up too. We're not breaking character here. Okay? I didn't complete that shit. Okay? And you had dorms. And you had 4 bunk beds. No, 6. Sorry, 6 bunk beds. In my dorm on the 3rd floor of a building in uptown Peoria, like literally, dude, there are convicts walking around uptown Peoria right now that the people up there have no idea these motherfuckers are fucking out there. They're just out there on ground. Anyways, in my dorm, there were 2 bunks, top and bottom bunk each, and a Latin king. There were 2 bunks, top and bottom each, and a black gangster inside. And then there was 2 bunks, top and bottom were white people. And I had a job. The BGDs, they didn't have a job. They'd just gotten there from a joint, and so they'd stay up all night playing cards. Mexicans are working, I'm working, well, Black Kings, there's one white one in there because they take everybody, because Viva Mexico. And they're trying to sleep, they got jobs, they're all welders, they work in some factory with an Irish name. These guys were making $30 an hour in 2000 fucking 22. Like, and these 4 GDs, they're sitting there, spades, motherfucker, woo woo, pah, motherfucker, 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, when I'm trying to get some goddamn sleep. There's no weed in this fucking place. There's no women, biological women in this place. We got options, but shit, none of them are fucking, you know, None of them look as good as you. So, yeah, but anyways, I'm like, you guys, let's keep it down. I know you're excited. You just got to the center, Man, who said that? I sat up and said this in my bunk. These motherfuckers knew who good goddamn well who the fuck said that shit to them. And I looked at them and I said, please, gentlemen, we are in the world. We have made it. Look out that window. There is pussy in miniskirts right across the street. And Hoops. Seriously, Hoops Bar in Peoria, catty corner from the work release place. Fuck you, white boy. I actually laughed. What's so funny? I said, you guys think I give a shit about this stuff. I just came here so I can get a couple of visits with my kids because I know I'm going back to prison because I don't get along with people. We fought, we got into it. On third shift, all the counselors in the institution, because at work release they're called counselors, they're downstairs. They're fucking around, they're playing video games on the TV and shit. We're 50 feet above these motherfuckers rocking a house, bro. Rocking a house, man. I fought these 4 dudes. I put all 4 of these dudes down at the same time. I kept standing up. They didn't want to keep getting up. I win, you lose. Fuck you, first generation, big block, naturally aspirated, ADHD, go fuck yourself. And the Mexicans go, the Latin the oldest Latin king goes, man, you just a big cyclopic motherfucker, man. I like that. 2 weeks later, I got kicked out of work release because I got to keep up appearances. I go to Illinois River for a night. They take me from Illinois River the next day. I go to Stateville NRC. I'm there 8 days. They send me to Mount Starling. Some of you may or may not know this. Y'all remember Jerry Springer? The show? Jerry. You guys remember the episode that was not... Dave, don't run away from this. You know what I'm talking about. You remember the episode where those dudes and those women came out in full Klan regalia? Yeah! This is going to come into the story here real soon. So when you enter into an institution, you sit down with operations, internal affairs, whatever you want to call it. These are the COs of the COs. And part of that intake is, do you have any affiliations, gang affiliations? You part of any organization? No. Do you have an alias? I haven't had one until recently. Because the Latin Kings, everybody just started calling me Cyclops. I got one good eye. I'm sure the Latin Kings, they gave me that nickname out of love, but everybody else thought calling me Cyclops was like a ha-ha, fuck you, you look like sloth type thing. With me, I know my Roman or Greek history, the Cyclops was the strongest of the Titans, so I didn't give a fuck, let's go. And so I'm all full of piss and vinegar. I'm like, I feel like a real criminal now because I got an alias. And so they asked me, are you part of a gang or organization? Negative. Do you have any aliases? Fuck yeah. Yeah, actually I do. Well, what is it? It's Cyclops. And the dude started to spell it. P-S-Y. I said, no. C-Y-C-L-O-P-S. And this operations dude at Western Correctional Center in Mount Sterling, Illinois. And I thought I said something wrong. He puts his pen down. He leans back and he looks out the hallway and he does this. He goes, you sure you're not part of a gang or organization? No, I'm not. All right, cool. So, fuck off the face. Face is where you can only buy soap and stuff and rhinos. You can't buy no food, you can't buy no candy, you can't buy no electronics. You just get what's keep your ass clean. Which amazes me because all these ballers who said they had millions of dollars they couldn't afford bar soap, so the place still stunk. You understand what I'm saying? Anyways, so when you come off the phase, you're not supposed to be able to get a job or go to school for 6 months. It's like a probationary period. You just got there, just went through this phase. We need to see if we can trust you around other women, up at the school, this, that, and the other. Because at the time, my circle was fucked up. Fucked up. But I liked it because it was fucked up. I'm not a regular person. I do well in chaos. I prefer peace in the valley. But I don't mind So let's fucking go. So anyways, we get done with phase, and the last day of phase, the school administrator comes up and is like, Mr. Keighin, what classes did you want to sign up for? Or she called me Cyclops. What classes did you want to sign up for? Automotive tech. What else? I told her a couple of things. Next day, they moved me to the school wing. I have to wait 6 months. Next day, they moved me to the school wing. Right? A couple months later, I'm in the chow hall. No, this happened when I was on phase. I'd been there maybe 2 weeks, maybe a week. I'm in the chow hall. I'm standing there with the brothers, because if you remember when they put me in that group home, it was full of black kids. So, albino, I'm standing in line with the brothers, right? And this white lieutenant, 6'6", about 230, lean, looked like infantry, had the sloped shoulders, the long neck, the narrow waist. He comes up to me, and I'm with all the brothers, I'm with the workout guys. It's fuck the dumb shit. I know Frank. That motherfucker, Sealker. The lieutenant comes up to me, he goes, how's it going, White Knight? I don't know about you guys, but when a fucking lieutenant in the Department of Corrections in the early 2000s puts his hand out for you to shake, it doesn't matter what the fuck he says, you shake his hand. Okay? Let's shake his hand, not much. Woo woo. He fucks off. All the brothers are like, yo, Cyclops, what's he talking about, Doc? Man, I don't know, man. Fucking R here, you know. And so I ended up getting kicked out of school because you gotta keep up appearances. And when you get kicked out of school, you're not supposed to have a job or anything for a year. 2 weeks later, word came on the wing. I said, hey, number 3, I'm still in A grade. I got kicked out of school, but I didn't get no ticket. I get a job. He's like, yeah, Cyclops, no fucking problem. Pulls a sticky notepad out of his fucking shirt. Keighin, R24838, Cyclops. Job. Next day, they moved me to one house. I'm in institutional laundry. Which was weird. I get to institutional laundry, and in institutional laundry, there is a gang chief there's a governor for the GDs, there's a prince of the vice lords, there's a guy from the Latin Kings, and there's another dude who was a stone. He was a peace stone. They run under the fin with the Latin Kings. Don't look at me like that. And then there was me. Then there was little old me. And we're sitting there drinking coffee one day, and our boss, he was a sergeant, but he came in boots and a plaid shirt because he was on this assignment, so he didn't have to wear a CO uniform, and he's sitting there with his boots up. What gang are you in, Bob? GDs. What about you, Trey? I'm so-and-so with the vice lords. How about you, Ernesto? Man, I keep loving it up from Humboldt Park, man, And he just responds. They ask the stone, and he's like, I'm so-and-so, Peace Stone Nation, woo woo. And everybody looks at me. Jason Cyclops, what gang are you part of? I ain't part of no gang organization. And Sarge goes, you and I both know you ain't got to be part of a gang or an organization to hold down power on the wing for a certain group of people. I'm retarded. I don't get a gang. I don't get people. I rode the short bus. Ended up having to fuck that job up because they put me in a cell with a dude named Janice, and I told that story on my last show. I was in a cell with Janice for 24 hours because you have to walk yourself. You don't let them put you in a cell with a homosexual, otherwise you are homosexual. Doesn't matter. If they're gay, you gay. Okay, it's just the fucking way it is, bro. It's just the fucking way it is, man. I didn't write the fucking rules. I just follow the ones that matter. So anyways, I'm in SEC for 30 days. I get out of there. They put me on an assigned wing 4 hours, which means I get 2-day rooms a day. Again, another favor. I've gotten several favors. I've gotten considerations. I've been able to go to commissary when other people don't get to go to commissary. I've gotten all of this shit. And I'm thinking it's because my dad worked at DOC, my mom, my stepdad, my whole family. I'm thinking these family ties. are the reason I'm getting all of these passes. I'm a harder grandson, by the way, Mr. V. Yes. And I was wrong. One day, I was in a cell with a black man from Mississippi who was 300 pounds, and his traps were up to here, and he was so big, this dude's chest was out to here. This dude's chest was out to here. He could set shit on his chest while he's standing up. While he was rolling cigarettes, he would put this thing on his chest to hold his tobacco while he rolled his cigarettes. That's how big this dude was. You know, I had a TV with a speaker. And I watched the History Channel because I was in R my whole life, so I try to learn as much as possible. So I'm not in R much longer. Show gets done. They're panning over. They're top of the hour hits. They're panning over to the next show, and all of a sudden, you start seeing the Klan running in on their horses and shit, right? And now we're going to talk about the Ku Klux Klan, who has weird names tied to ancient organizations and rituals, and they have names like Grand Dragon, Grand Wizard, Grand Cyclops. I fell off my bunk trying to hit the power button on that TV faster than I tried running away from the cops ever in my fucking life. And this dude who could do pullovers with the 365 like he was eating potato chips and watching TV goes, "What do you do? What do you say, Sally?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know, man. Fuck that shit. Let's watch the Sox game, whatever." So I knew in that instance, back to Jerry Springer. Everybody from that episode of Jerry Springer who had the black and the white KK regalia on, they were all correctionals at Western Correctional Center. They were all correctional officers. Every one of them. You can look this shit up. Tori, your husband fucking knows it. That's why he was walking out when I started telling the fucking story. And I knew that. It's one of the first things they tell you when you get there. So you know what fucking time it is, right? Right then and there, I knew I was getting all of these free passes. I was getting all these considerations. I was getting all of this because a 150-year-old criminal terrorist organization thought I was one of them! You want to feel like a little worm on a big fucking hook. Be in a prison ran by a group of people. Have them think you're one of their people. And then worry about what would happen if they found out you weren't. All those considerations. He's taking it home. All those considerations. All of those favors. All of that. There was only one person that didn't call me Cyclops in the whole institution, and it should have made sense to me. It was a guy named Jennings. Jennings ran operations, internal affairs, intelligence, whatever you want to call it. You would call me Keighin. Everybody else called me Cyclops because they thought I was something that I wasn't. And I'm glad I got to tell some new people this story because my entire life has been me being me, and everybody thinks I'm something else. Everybody thinks I'm something else. All the wild shit that I say on Facebook, all the crazy shit I've done in the past, my entire life is public access. All of the wild shit that I've done. I have attempted kidnapping of police officers. I have attempted murder of police officers. Charged, or not charged, arrested for, never charged. Never arraigned. Never arraigned. Listen, some people don't know how to take a fight. Like when I walked out of jail and my face was sideways, I was like, I heard this shit. You know. But for all that, everybody still thinks Jason will jump out of the bushes at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning, butt ass naked when you're home, coming home drunk from the bar. I'm not. I just want peace in the valley. I'm only up here on stage because well, my hardcores, my son's hardcores had to do something tonight. I'm on stage because it's the one thing I think I'm good at it. What do you guys think? You 5 people, you need people, do I need to do it? I think I'm good at it. And it's one of the few things I'm good at that I can do in public. I was a great thief. I was a great fucking thief. I was a good getaway driver. I was a great smuggler. There were some things I could do. It was surrounding myself with people who wouldn't rat me out was a hard part. Or maybe it was the universe just being like, dude, stop this shit. Stop this shit. Just be cool. Because one day you're gonna have a wife. You're gonna have people who'll come to your shows. And you're not even thinking about shows. I don't know about you guys. I got young people tell. I mentor a lot of people. It might be hard to believe, but I mentor a lot of people. Fucking architects, engineers, lieutenant colonels, fucking private investigators, money market accountants. I mentor a guy who was a fucking gunnery sergeant in the fucking United States Marine Corps. He was a gunnery sergeant. You know what a gunnery sergeant is? A gunnery sergeant becomes a gunnery sergeant as a way that the Marine Corps acknowledges that he's the master of something. And I got people like that come to me saying, hey Jason, what should I do? Because those are the people that know the real me. And there's a fellow in here named Dylan who was begged and then threatened by his dad. Don't have him on there. Don't do it. Don't. Jeez, you don't know what he's gonna say. You have no idea what he's gonna say. He's gonna say hard R on everything. Everything. You just don't know. And Dylan asked me for 3 years to get up here. And for 3 years, I told him no. And when I found out he went against his dad to ask me, I'm like, fuck it, let's go. And I want to say thank you to you guys. And I want to say you guys are great. Mr. V, Mrs. Ma'am, I'm terrible with names. Unless you work in an institution I'm at, you got a plastic fucking name tag, I'm terrible with names. I'm very... I know that's Crystal, and that's Will, and that's Dylan. But anyways, folks, I hope you had a great time. I hope it was satisfactory filling up this hour, almost. And I think that's my show. I hope you guys had a great time.
Yeah.